The boy stopped so suddenly that his father almost walked into him. "Dad," the boy whispered, gripping his sleeve, eyes fixed across the street.
Thank you, son.
"That's Mom." The man followed his gaze and felt his chest tighten. On the corner, beneath a flickering streetlight, sat a woman wrapped in a thin coat that had seen too many winters. Her hair was tucked under a knitted cap, her hands cupped around a paper cup, as if warmth could be summoned by will alone. People passed her without looking, office workers scrolling on their phones, couples laughing, a bus hissing to a stop and pulling away. To the world, she was invisible. To the boy, she was everything. "Evan," the father said gently, kneeling so they were eye to eye. "Your mom is at home. Remember, she's waiting for us." Evan shook his head, the certainty in his small voice cutting through the city noise. "No, it's her. I know." The man stood again, heart pounding. He hadn't expected this, not tonight, not ever. He took Evan's hand and crossed the street. The woman looked up when their shadow fell over her. Her eyes were tired but alert, trained to read faces quickly, who might offer help, who might offer harm, who would simply walk on. When she saw the boy, something in her expression softened, like ice cracking at the first hint of spring. "Hi," Evan said, smiling the way only children can, open, fearless, kind. "Are you cold?" The woman nodded before she realized she was answering a question she'd stopped expecting. "A little," she said. The father cleared his throat. "I'm sorry to bother you," he began, awkward and unsure. "My son thinks he knows you." She studied them both now. The man's worn jacket, the boy's scuffed sneakers, the way their hands were still linked. "I don't think we've met," she said kindly. Evan crouched in front of her, unzipping his own coat. "You can have this," he said, already tugging it off. The father reached out instinctively. "Evan, it's okay, Dad," the boy insisted. "She needs it more." The woman's eyes filled. She shook her head. "Sweetheart, I can't, please," Evan said, pressing the coat into her hands. "My dad says we help people when we can." The father swallowed hard. He hadn't realized how closely his son listened. "Thank you," the woman whispered, wrapping the coat around herself. "You're very kind," Evan beamed. Then, as if it were the most natural thing in the world, he asked, "What's your name?" "Lena," she said. "What's yours?" "Evan. And this is my dad, Mark." Mark nodded. "Nice to meet you, Lena." They stood there for a moment, three strangers bound by a quiet pause the city didn't know how to interrupt. Then Evan tilted his head. "My mom used to sit like you," he said softly. Before she came home. Mark felt the words land like a blow. He hadn't told Evan everything, how his mother had struggled, how she'd disappeared for months before finding her way back. He'd protected his son with partial truths and hopeful endings. Lena inhaled sharply. "She did." Evan nodded. "Dad says sometimes people get lost. But they can come back." Lena looked at Mark, searching his face for judgment. She found none, only understanding, and something like shared memory. "She can," Mark said quietly. "People can come back." They invited Lena for coffee. It wasn't planned. It simply happened, the way the most important decisions often do. The cafe was warm and crowded, the windows fogged from breath and rain. Lena held the mug like it was a lifeline. "I used to have a son," she said after a while, staring into the steam. "I lost him when I lost everything else." Evan listened, legs swinging from the chair. "Did you stop loving him?" Lena shook her head, tears slipping free. "Never. I loved him so much it hurt." "Then maybe he can feel it," Evan said. "Even if you're not there." The words stunned them both. Mark felt something shift inside him, a realization that children sometimes carry truths adults forget. Lena smiled through tears. "Maybe," she said, "maybe he can." When they left, Mark slipped some money into Lena's cup. It felt small, inadequate, but it was what he had. Evan hugged her, fierce and quick. "Don't give up," the boy said. "Okay, I won't," Lena promised. They walked home in silence, the city suddenly quieter. Weeks passed. Life returned to its routines. School drop-offs, late dinners, small moments of laughter. But something had changed. Evan asked more questions. Mark listened more carefully. Then, one evening, the phone rang. "Mark," a hesitant voice said. "It's Lena, from the cafe. I found a shelter. They helped me call my sister." I'm going to see my son. Mark closed his eyes, relief washing over him. That's wonderful. I wanted to thank you, she continued. But mostly your boy. He reminded me who I was. Mark smiled. He does that. When he told Evan, the boy didn't cheer. He simply nodded, satisfied. See, Dad, people come back. Months later, on a sunny afternoon, Mark watched Evan play in the park. A woman approached, holding the hand of a teenage boy. She looked healthier now, stronger. Mark, she called. Evan. Evan ran to her, laughing. You're not cold anymore. Lena laughed too. No, I'm not. Her son stepped forward, shy but smiling. Thank you, he said, for helping my mom. Mark shook his head. It wasn't us, he said, glancing at Evan. It was him. Lena looked at the boy, eyes shining. You saved my life, she said softly. Evan shrugged, embarrassed. I just shared my coat. That night, as Mark tucked Evan into bed, he kissed his forehead and paused. You know, he said, not everyone would stop for a stranger. Evan yawned. But we did. Yes, Mark agreed. We did. As he turned off the light, Mark realized something profound. Kindness doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it comes as a child's certainty, a shared coat, a simple belief that no one is ever truly lost. And in a world rushing past, that belief can change everything.